Hi everyone. Today has just been an emotional roller coaster of just things that have stockpiled up on me. Um, I tried hosting a virtual um, jewelry sale, and that went okay. Went about as expected, and just really thinking about shit lately. Um, for whatever reason, I've been really thinking about my dad's death a lot over the last 24 to 48 hours. And it's been kind of really depressing me. And um, I think that I'm starting to regret the fact that I wasn't there for him for his final hours. And it's not that I didn't want to be. We just thought that we had more time than what we did, and so that's how that played out. Um, but yeah, that's just been weighing really heavily on my mind lately. And on my blog post, I posted about how sometimes music therapy helps and just kind of changes things around for you. And um, I've been listening to a lot of music, and that's been helping me. Like, as soon as I feel really manic or depressive or anything, I just flip on some music, and it kind of pulls me out of that state of mind. And last night, I actually had a chance to further talk to my sister about the problems that I had with this upcoming trip to Oregon to go see my mom. And we both had a few drinks in us, which mellowed her out and made it so that she could hear and understand what I was saying. And she brought up some very valid points that she doesn't want to think of our mother as a toxic person, and that she wants to um, just have her mom in her life. And I brought that to her attention. I said, sis, I want that too. I would love for our mom to be a bigger part of our lives, and I would love to be able to just call her up and tell her, Mom, I need you to come give me a hug. Um, that's never going to happen. And that was a really hard realization for the both of us. Mainly for her because she's more codependent on my mother than what I am. Me and my mom have always had a very strange relationship. And so that's just kind of how things worked out. And I think my sister finally understood exactly where it was that I was coming from, because I pointed out yet again all the ABCs of her possible toxicity here in the town that we live in. And she said, I don't want to admit to it, but you are right. She said, God, I wish it wasn't that way, but it is, unfortunately. And I kind of heard that sad realization come into her voice that I wasn't saying the things that I was saying just to be a dick or whatever. I was coming from a very legitimate, caring place. And I told her, I said, we moved away from California to start our lives all over again with clean slates where no one really knew us. And if we allow her into our life, even for a small fraction of a second, all of that hard work is going to go out the door. And I hate to talk about her that way, but I just know she's a very toxic person. And so the motherly love that I need, I go to my stepmother, who has, in the last 13 years, been more of a mother to me than my mom has for the last 32. So I have that mother figure that I can turn to. My sister doesn't. And it's kind of sad, I feel sorry for her. But in the same token, everything that I told her, she finally got to understand and saw from my point of view and said, you know what, you're probably right. You're usually right about these things. Basically, she didn't flat come out and say that, but I could hear it in her tone. Um, so I'm actually kind of grateful that I was able to finally bridge that gap because me and my sister have always had the relationship that it's me and her against the world. That no matter what life throws at us, we face it together, we stand together as a unit, and we just go forward with it. And so, whenever there's any kind of a rift between us, it gets really, really bad. And with my emotional and mental problems, it's even harder for me because I look to her and I depend on her for so much. Like, not monetary or anything like that. I just depend on her always being there and like being able to call her up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Hey sis, I need to do this, this, and this, and she'd get up out of bed and take me to go do those things. She wouldn't be happy about it, but she would still do it. Um, so, or at least I think she would. I know I would do it if I had the ability to, and I have done it. She locked herself out of her car one time. I was the only one who had a spare key. I drove almost 90 miles to go see her to give her her spare key so she could unlock her door because her boyfriend, who was a city over, didn't feel like driving over to the house. It's just what I do. So, a lot of times when you hear me screaming about feeling unappreciated and like I'm taken advantage of, it's typically those things that I'm feeling at that time because I'm not someone that's like, oh well, I did this, this, and this for you. Why can't you do this for me? Very seldom do I ever play that card because I figure I'm doing it for you out of the kindness and the love in my heart. You should do it back to me if you love me and you feel the same exact way. There should never be a time limit or statute of limitations on what a person should or shouldn't do for you. That's just it. And especially family, for the most part, you know. And friends, even, if they're the type of friends that aren't toxic and only use you for what you can provide for them. If they're those ride or die type friends where you call them up and say, hey, I'm going through some shit, I need you right now, and they're there an hour later, or even a day later, that's a friend. That's somebody who you should trust. That's somebody that you need in your life. And unfortunately, having taken stock of my life and the people therein, I really don't have that support system that I used to anymore. And I'm not even really sure that I had that back then. The only person who lives here in this city where I live that would have done that, we don't talk anymore really because of how just negative and toxic that person became. And I used to look at them as a family member, and we would do everything together. Everything, we would do it together. And just over the last few years, that fell apart. And I don't understand why it fell apart. It disintegrated. Like when we lived in California together, we did everything together. I helped this person through their marriage when their marriage was falling apart. I helped them when they first came to town and really had no other friends or family members there. It was just me. And at the time, I was a teenager. And I helped pull their marriage back together because I could sit down and I could mediate between the two spouses and say, you know what, you need to listen to her, you need to listen to him, go back and forth or whatever. And I was able to mediate between them. So, knowing that a part of that branch on my tree broke off, kills me. Um, and I'll explain that metaphor of a branch breaking from my tree. I look at people as trees, and each individual person is a tree. And the people who are in your lives fulfill three roles: leaves, branches, roots. People who are leaves come into your life for a couple of days, few months, a week, a year, so on and so forth, but then they're quickly gone. And yeah, we miss them when they leave, but they were only supposed to be in our life for a short period of time to teach us something. I don't look at any encounter with somebody as a negative. I always look at it as a teaching method. What did this person teach me? What did this scenario or this outcome teach me? And I use it as a positive, no matter how bad or how negative it is, and I move on. Then you have people who are branches, who are always there for you, and always, telling you, hey, I got your back, I'm here for you, blah, blah, blah. And then the time comes where you need them, and you go to lean out on them and look for their support, and they look like they're strong, and you have that feeling of security and strength. You step a foot out on there, and the branch breaks away and falls down, leaving you screwed, basically, because that support limb that you thought was there is no longer there. That's where that's where I feel that the branch has fallen from my tree. This person was somebody that I thought I could always turn to, that was always going to be there, that I could call any time of the day or night, which I used to, because I had those kind of problems where I just needed somebody else to talk to because I had no one else in the world to talk to. When I needed that person the most, they disappeared on me and left bullshit excuses in their wake. The next group of people are roots. Those are the people who are there for you. Those are the people who call you every day and check up on you like, hey, how you doing? I haven't seen you today. What can I do for you? Let's go hang out. I know that you've been sad. I know you're upset. I know you're not feeling good. Any number of different things. But I'm going to be there for you. You need a ride to the doctor? You know what? I'll be there in 10, 15 minutes. Anything. Those are the people. Certain family members. Roots are the people who give you the foundation to build your life on and to build up yourself. They don't want anything from you. They don't want you to give them anything. They don't even want any recognition outside of a thank you every now and then. And even then, sometimes they're so modest that they don't even want that because it's expected of them as they expected of you. And those are the people that you want in your life. You don't want these shim sham people who come and go. Don't ever try to make a branch or a leaf a root, because if you do that, your tree is going to die and it's going to crumble before you ever have a chance to see it grow and flourish. And if you are anything like me, the minute you start to see any kind of wilt in your leaves, you start getting a little worried. That's how I feel most of the time, because I look at my leaves and I see more branches and sky than I do foliage. And that just really kind of drives home to me because I used to have such an amazing network of people. I was never alone. I was never needing of somebody because somebody was always there. Even if they were a branch or a leaf or whatever. Sometimes I'm not looking to constantly add people to my root list. That is a that's a special thing. You have to earn to get there. And so sometimes I just reach out for whoever happens to have an open ear or will be willing to talk to me about the problems that I'm facing or anything like that. And I really don't have that anymore. I used to have over 60 friends that I would see on a daily, if not weekly basis. Here, I have maybe 2 friends. I have a lot of other people that I know, tons of acquaintances, but really only 2 people that I know, maybe 4 that I know I can call and have them just be there at any moment for me. That's a huge, huge thing. I used to have a telephone friend, and since they've been going through a lot of changes in their life, that's kind of come up missing now, too. We still talk, but not daily like we used to, and I really miss that, but I understand that that person has their own things going on, and a whole new chapter of their life is opening up, and they're changing, and our friendship is changing because of those changes. So I've got to hopefully find a way to still be friends with this person. Not because either one of us want to break up our friendship, but because I think we're really starting to move in different directions. And it kills me inside because this person was a really good confidant. Um, my total polar opposite. So it was somebody who I could talk to, but that would put me in my place or at least try to understand where I was coming from. And the same with that person. They would tell me something, I would try to understand where they were coming from, give them my few little tidbits of feedback or what have you, and then there we were. So, to say that this last week or so has been emotionally charged is kind of an understatement. Um, the new person that I'm seeing in mental health is really good, and I think she's gonna be good for me. She flat came out and said, "Don't pull any punches and don't bullshit me, and I won't bullshit you." She literally said that. I was like, okay, awesome, you know. So we'll see how that works. I'm kind of hopeful for it, and I think I'm gonna be able to get a lot of stuff off my chest and work in a good, positive direction. So yeah. Anyways, that's my little rant for Sunday night at 11:36 p.m. Woohoo. um. Anyways, give me your questions, comments, concerns. Follow the blog hellocupcakeitsme.com. Follow me on Keek. That's keek.com/. Hello Cupcake It's Me. And find me on Facebook. And on Twitter, it's twitter.com/Hello Cupcake for you, the letter 4, the number U. And yeah, until next time, have fun. And if you have any ideas for future episodes or, future things to talk about, shoot, let me know. If you want to do weekly Q&As, could do weekly Q&As, whatever. Um, I'm an open book and I'm here to let you read me. So, y'all take care. Good night. And yeah, bye.